Somewhere above the rooftops of Paris, drifting over the gas-lit boulevards and the whispered gossip of 1,000 salons, there is a secret. Millions of people look up at the Eiffel Tower every year, marveling at its iron lattice. Let's pause for a moment on that phrase, lattice, L-A-T-T-I-C-E. A lattice is a structure consisting of strips of metal or wood crossed and fastened together. The Eiffel Tower is essentially the world's most famous iron lattice. Almost everyone who visits misses the door hidden at the very summit, a door that was once the most sought-after invitation in Europe. Behind that iron, in a space no larger than a small cottage, lived a man who had built the tallest structure on earth, not for the glory of France, but as a sanctuary for himself. In English, a sanctuary is a place of refuge or safety, a private space where you can be alone and protected from the outside world. Gustave Eiffel built himself a sanctuary in the sky. Today, we step inside the room the world was never meant to see. The year is 1889. Paris is a city in transformation, preparing to celebrate the centennial of the French Revolution. A centennial, C-E-N-T-E-N-I-A-L, is a 100th anniversary. Because it was the 100th year since the Revolution, the government wanted a monument so bold it would serve as a beacon of progress. A beacon is a fire or light set up in a high position as a warning or a signal. The tower was designed to be a beacon of human genius. They turned to Gustave Eiffel, an engineer known as the magician of iron. His proposal stunned the committee, an iron tower 300 meters tall. Critics were savage. They called it a monstrous eyesore. 300 artists signed public petitions to stop the project. A petition is a formal written request, typically one signed by many people, appealing to authority in respect of a particular cause. Eiffel ignored these petitions. Over the next 26 months, 300 workers assembled 18,000 individual iron components held together by 2.5 million rivets. A rivet, R-I-V-E-T, is a short metal pin or bolt used for holding together two plates of metal. 2.5 million of these tiny pins are what hold the Eiffel Tower together. When the tower finally opened, the critics fell silent. It was a triumph of engineering. Yet, while the crowd celebrated below, Gustave Eiffel had quietly reserved the most valuable sanctuary in France entirely for himself. Let's look at a word that defines this whole achievement: unprecedented. Unprecedented. This describes something that has never happened or existed before. In 1889, a building of this height was truly unprecedented. It broke all the rules of history.
While the world was focused on the view from the lower platforms, Eiffel was finalizing his secret world at the very summit. Appearing on no public blueprints, the apartment was a masterpiece of opulence. Let's look at that word, opulence. O-P-U-L-E-N-C-E. Opulence refers to great wealth, especially when shown by extravagant living and costly materials. Eiffel's sanctuary was small, but its character was defined by pure opulence. The walls were lined with rich walnut wood and soft patterned wallpaper. There were grand Persian rugs, burgundy velvet armchairs, and a gleaming upright piano. Imagine the contrast. Outside, the cold industrial iron. Inside, total comfort and warmth. As word of this home in the clouds spread, the Parisian elite became obsessed. Politicians and wealthy industrialists sent their cards daily, offering small fortunes just to spend 1 hour in the room. But Eiffel declined them all. every single one. He was accused of hoarding the best view in France. To hoard, H-O-A-R-D, means to accumulate valued objects and hide them away, often secretly. But to Eiffel, this wasn't a trophy, it was a laboratory. He spent his hours there alone, checking his scientific instruments, such as his barometers. A barometer is an instrument measuring atmospheric pressure, used especially in forecasting the weather and determining altitude. Eiffel preferred the company of barometers to the company of socialites. His apartment was defined by its exclusivity. Exclusivity, E-X-C-L-U-S-I-V-I-T-Y, is the quality of being limited to a specific group or person, excluding others. By keeping the world out, he made the summit the most mysterious place on Earth. But in 1889, a man arrived whom Eiffel considered a true equal, Thomas Alva Edison. The legendary American inventor was in town for the World's Fair, and Eiffel led him toward the forbidden door. As the elevator ascended toward that forbidden sanctuary, the roar of the World's Fair crowds began to fade into a hum. Inside the room, surrounded by walnut wood and burgundy velvet, Gustave Eiffel welcomed his most honored guest, Thomas Alva Edison. They were a perfect match, Eiffel, the magician of iron, and Edison, the wizard of Menlo Park. Edison had brought a gift, one of his latest phonographs. Let's look at that word, phonograph, P-H-O-N-O-G-R-A-P-H. A phonograph is an early machine for recorded sounds. In that small room, high above the clouds, Eiffel heard recorded sound for the very first time. Eiffel was amazed. He turned to his friend and said, "They certainly don't make music like this anymore. A timeless classic, wouldn't you agree?" Edison smiled and replied, "It reminds me of our younger days here in Paris." As they listened to the music, Eiffel looked at his tower and remarked, "And the structural design allows for unprecedented scale." Edison nodded in agreement, adding, "Minimizing wind resistance at the apex. Brilliant." Wait, before we continue with the secret scientific vision these two geniuses shared, are you enjoying this discovery? If you want to master professional English while uncovering the secrets of history, hit the subscribe button now and join our global classroom. Back in the apartment, the two men discussed a radical vision. They spoke about the nature of electricity and the potential for the tower to become a colossal antenna. An antenna, A-N-T-E-N-N-A. An antenna is a rod or wire used to send or receive radio or television signals. Eiffel believed his tower was more than a monument. He believed it was a scientific tool for the future of wireless communication. Wireless simply means using radio waves rather than wires to transmit information. This was a futuristic concept in 1889. Edison was so impressed that he called the tower an audacious structure. To be audacious means to take surprisingly bold risks. It is the ultimate complement between two inventors.
Algebra. For the next 30 years, this apartment was Eiffel's private cathedral of science. He used the extreme altitude to conduct groundbreaking experiments in meteorology. Meteorology, M-E-T-E-O-R-O-L-O-G-Y. Meteorology is the scientific study of the atmosphere and weather patterns. Eiffel was determined to prove the tower's worth beyond just its beauty. He fought to keep the tower standing when the government wanted it dismantled. They originally planned to tear it down after only 20 years, but Eiffel argued that its scientific value was indispensable to the future of France. As we have learned, if something is indispensable, it is absolutely necessary. You cannot do without it for success. The city of Paris eventually agreed, and the tower became a permanent part of the skyline. Gustave Eiffel passed away in 1923 at the age of 91. After his death, the secret door was locked. For decades, it remained a ghost room in the sky, forgotten by the millions who walked beneath it. It wasn't until the late 20th century that the space underwent a meticulous restoration. A restoration is the action of returning something to its former condition. Today, the velvet chairs and the walnut walls look exactly as they did on that evening in 1889. Today, visitors can reach the summit and look through the glass to see the wax mannequins of Eiffel and Edison still locked in their eternal conversation. A mannequin, M-A-N-N-E-Q-U-I-N. A mannequin is a life-size model of a person. They sit there today as a tribute to a legendary friendship. But the rule remains the same. You can look, but you cannot enter. The sanctuary Gustave Eiffel built for himself remains closed to the world. One monument for the people, and one sanctuary forever for the man who dreamed it. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Daily Discovery. I am Mr. Ben. Follow Learn English with Mr. Ben on YouTube and other social media channels for new English upgrades every single day. Rock it!